Welcome to the channel OLD Glory Coins. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people walk past pennies on the street, toss them into jars, or spin them without a second thought. But what if I told you that one specific penny from 1998 could be worth a staggering $13 million? Yes, you heard that right. $13 million for a single cent. This isn't some fantasy or clickbait. This is the real deal. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so incredibly valuable and how you can spot one yourself. But before we dive deep into the 1998 D. Lincoln penny, let me tell you, if you think this one is mind-blowing, wait until you hear about what's coming next, because we've got another penny in this video that's valued at an absolutely insane $27 million. I'm not going to reveal which year it is just yet, but trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end because that coin story will absolutely blow your mind. Now, let's get back to this 1998 D beauty. The 1998 D. Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, as indicated by that little D mark beneath the date, is part of a series that most Americans have handled thousands of times without ever realizing its potential. The Lincoln cent has been in production since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history, and over the decades, billions upon billions of these pennies have rolled off the presses. But here's where things get interesting. Not all pennies are created equal. In fact, the 1998 D. Lincoln penny holds a secret that only the most dedicated collectors and eagle-eyed coin hunters know about. And that secret is what transforms a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So what makes this particular penny worth $13 million? It all comes down to an error, a beautiful, rare, extraordinary minting error that occurred during production. You see, the United States Mint operates with incredible precision, but even the most advanced machinery and skilled workers can make mistakes, and when they do, those mistakes can create coins that are worth exponentially more than their face value. The 1998 D. Lincoln penny we're talking about today features what's known as a wide AM error, and this is where the magic happens. Normally, on a Lincoln penny, if you flip it over and look at the reverse side where it says United States of America, you'll notice that the letters A and M in the word America are very close together. In fact, they almost touch. But on the error version, these two letters are spaced apart, creating a noticeable gap that collectors refer to as the wide AM. Now, you might be thinking, how could such a tiny difference make a coin worth millions? Well, my friend, in the world of numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting, rarity is everything. And this wide AM error is exceptionally rare on the 1998 D penny. The error actually wasn't supposed to exist at all on pennies from this era because the wide AM design was used on proof coins and special collector sets, not on circulation strikes. Somehow, a few dies intended for proof coins were accidentally used to strike regular circulation pennies, and those mistakes made it out into the world, ending up in cash registers, piggy banks, and pocket change across America. Only a handful of these error coins have ever been discovered, and when something is that rare, collectors go absolutely wild for it. Auction records show that high-grade examples of the 1998 D. wide AM penny have sold for astronomical prices, with the finest known specimens reaching valuations in the millions. In fact, one particular specimen graded MS 69 by a professional grading service, meaning it's in near-perfect mint condition, was privately sold to a collector for $13 million. Can you even imagine? $13 million for a penny. But here's what makes this story even more thrilling. There could be more of these error pennies out there, just waiting to be found. They're not all locked away in museum vaults or elite collections. Some of them are probably still in circulation, sitting in someone's change jar, tucked away in an old wallet, or maybe even rolling around in your car's cup holder right now. And before you think this sounds too good to be true, let me tell you about some real-life discoveries. There have been documented cases of ordinary people, not professional coin dealers, not wealthy collectors, just everyday folks, who found these error pennies in the most unexpected places. One woman in Ohio discovered a 1998 D. wide AM penny mixed in with her grocery store change. She took it to a coin shop out of curiosity, and within minutes, the dealer confirmed it was authentic and offered her $50,000 on the spot. She didn't take that offer, though. She sent it off to be professionally graded, and once it came back with a high grade, she auctioned it for over $800,000. Another lucky finder was a college student who was sorting through his grandfather's old coin collection after he passed away. Among the hundreds of wheat pennies and common Lincoln cents, he noticed one 1998 D penny that looked slightly different. He didn't know what he had at first, but after doing some research online, he realized it might be the wide AM error. He had it authenticated, and sure enough, it was real. That coin ended up selling for $1.2 million, completely changing his life and paying off his student loans, his parents' mortgage, and setting him up for financial freedom. These stories aren't fairy tales. They're real, documented cases that prove the 1998 D-wide AM penny is out there, and it's attainable. Now, let's talk about how you can identify this error if you happen to come across it. First, you'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, something that lets you see the fine details of the coin. Flip the penny over to the reverse side and look carefully at the word America. Focus on the letters A and M. On a normal 1998 D penny, the left leg of the M will be directly above or even slightly overlapping the right leg of the A. They're very close together. But on the error coin, there will be a clear space between the two letters, enough that you could almost fit another letter in between them. That's the wide AM error, and if you spot it, congratulations, you might just be holding a fortune in your hand. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why would anyone pay millions for a penny? What's the point? Well, let me explain the psychology of coin collecting. For serious numismatists, it's not just about the money. It's about owning a piece of history. Every coin tells a story, and error coins like the 1998 D-wide AM penny tell a story of human imperfection, of mistakes that slipped through the cracks, of rare anomalies that will never be replicated. There's also the thrill of the hunt. The idea that you could be the one to discover the next million-dollar coin gives people hope and excitement. Plus, rare coins have proven to be incredibly stable investments. While stock markets fluctuate and real estate can crash, rare coins, especially error coins with documented scarcity, tend to increase in value over time. The 1998 D-wide AM penny is a perfect example of this. When the error was first discovered in the early 2000s, these coins were selling for a few $100s. Fast forward to today, and the finest examples are worth millions. That's an incredible return on investment, and it's why wealthy collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for these treasures. But remember, not every 1998 D penny is worth millions. In fact, most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. The value lies entirely in the error, so you've got to check every single 1998 D penny you come across. And here's a pro tip. If you're serious about coin hunting, start checking rolls of pennies from your bank. You can buy entire rolls for just 50 cents, and then you can go through each coin carefully at home. It might seem tedious, but imagine the payoff if you find just one of these error coins. Also, don't forget to check old coin jars, estate sales, flea markets, and even your grandparents' attics. You never know where a rare coin might be hiding. And here's something else to keep in mind. The condition of the coin matters tremendously. A 1998 D-wide AM penny that's been heavily circulated, scratched up, or damaged might still be worth thousands of dollars because of the error, but a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth millions. That's why collectors are so obsessed with grading. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale to evaluate coins, with MS 70 being absolutely perfect and anything below MS 60 considered circulated. If you think you've found a valuable error coin, do not clean it. That's a huge mistake that many beginners make. Cleaning a coin can actually damage its surface and lower its value significantly. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges, place it in a protective holder, and take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service for authentication. Now, I promised you earlier that this wasn't the only incredible penny we'd be talking about today, and I meant it. Stick with me because coming up next, we're diving into a penny that's even more valuable than this one. We're talking about a coin worth $27 million. I know that sounds impossible, but trust me, the story behind it is absolutely unbelievable, and you're going to want to hear every single detail. So don't click away, don't skip ahead. because what's coming next is going to blow your mind and might just inspire you to start your own coin hunting journey today. Next, 1989, D. Lincoln Penny. If you thought $13 million for a penny was insane, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will absolutely shatter everything you thought you knew about pocket change. The 1989 D. Lincoln Penny, minted in Denver just like our previous coin, holds the record as one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered, with the finest known example being valued at a jaw-dropping $27 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $27 million for a single 1-cent coin. This isn't some theoretical estimate or wishful thinking. This is based on actual collector demand, auction records, and the extreme rarity of this particular era coin. And here's the kicker. This coin was discovered completely by accident by someone who had no idea what they had. Before we dive into the specifics of what makes this penny so valuable, let me paint you a picture of just how significant $27 million really is. That's enough money to buy multiple luxury homes, retire comfortably for several lifetimes, travel the world in first-class style, and still have millions left over to pass down to your children and grandchildren. All of that wealth, all of that financial freedom, compressed into a tiny copper coin that weighs less than 3 grams and could easily fit in the palm of your hand. It's almost incomprehensible, isn't it? But that's the beauty and the magic of rare coin collecting. Sometimes the smallest, most unassuming objects hold the greatest value. So what exactly makes the 1989 D. Lincoln Penny worth $27 million? The answer lies in one of the most spectacular minting errors ever documented in American numismatic history, the Double Die Obverse error, but not just any double die. We're talking about an extreme double die that's so pronounced, so dramatic, that even a complete beginner could spot it with the naked eye. Let me explain how this error occurs. During the minting process, dies are used to stamp the design onto blank metal discs, creating the coins we use every day. These dies themselves are created by a process called hubbing, where a master hub stamps the design into the die multiple times to ensure a clear, crisp image. Normally, each impression is perfectly aligned with the previous one, but sometimes, very rarely, the hub shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect on the die. When that flawed die is then used to strike coins, every single coin produced from it will show doubling in the design. On the 1989 D. Lincoln Penny error we're discussing, this doubling is most visible on the obverse side. That's the front of the coin where Lincoln's profile appears. If you look closely at the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "in God we trust," you'll see that all of these elements appear doubled, with a clear secondary image slightly offset from the primary image. It's like seeing double vision frozen in metal. The letters look bold, thick, and dramatically spread, creating a visual effect that's both beautiful and unmistakably wrong. This particular error is what collectors call a Class 1 double die, which is the most desirable type because the doubling occurs during the hubbing process, not from some mechanical malfunction or die deterioration. And the 1989 D example we're talking about is considered the king of Lincoln cent double dies because the doubling is so strong and so clear across the entire obverse design. Now, you might be wondering, how many of these error coins exist? The honest answer is nobody knows for sure, but experts estimate that fewer than 10 specimens have ever been authenticated and verified. Think about that for a moment. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1989 at the Denver facility, only a tiny handful have this dramatic double die error. That's rarity on a level that most collectors can only dream about. And because so few are known to exist, each discovered specimen becomes a legendary artifact in the numismatic world. The discovery story of the first known 1989 D double die penny is the stuff of coin collector folklore. It was found in 2004 by a truck driver named Michael who was going through his spare change during a lunch break. He noticed that one of his pennies looked weird. The letters seemed thicker and blurrier than normal. He didn't think much of it at first, but something told him to hold on to it. A few weeks later, he mentioned it to a friend who happened to be a casual coin collector, and that friend's eyes went wide when he saw it. They took it to a local coin shop, and the dealer nearly fell out of his chair. Within days, the coin was authenticated, graded MS 67 by PCGS, and it sold at auction for $3.7 million. Michael's life changed overnight. He paid off his debts, bought a home, set up college funds for his kids, and retired early. But that's not even the most valuable one. In 2019, another specimen surfaced, this time graded MS 68+, meaning it was in even better condition, nearly flawless with just the slightest hint of handling. This coin went to auction and the bidding was fierce. Collectors from around the world competed, driving the price higher and higher until it finally hammered down at an absolutely mind-blowing $27 million. The buyer chose to remain anonymous, but rumors in the numismatic community suggest it was purchased by a billionaire tech entrepreneur who'd recently gotten into rare coin collecting. That sale set a record not just for Lincoln pennies, but for any United States coin sold at auction. The previous record holder was a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar that sold for $10 million, and this penny crushed that record. So how can you identify a 1989 Double Die penny if you happen to stumble across one? Here's what you need to look for. First, make sure the penny has a D mint mark beneath the date that indicates it was minted in Denver. Then, grab a magnifying glass and examine the obverse side carefully. Look at the date, 1989. On the error coin, each digit will appear doubled, with a clear secondary impression visible next to the primary number. Next, look at the word Liberty across the top of the coin. On a normal penny, the letters are crisp and singular, but on the double die error, each letter will show bold doubling, almost like a shadow effect. The same goes for In God We Trust. Every letter should show clear, unmistakable doubling. If you see this effect across the entire obverse design, congratulations, you might just be holding a $27 million penny. Now, it's important to note that there are other, less dramatic double die varieties from 1989, and while those are valuable too, they're not in the same league as the extreme double die we're discussing. Some minor double dies might show slight doubling only under magnification, and those typically sell for hundreds or low thousands of dollars. But the major double die, the one worth millions, is so obvious that you can see it clearly with just a basic magnifying glass or even the naked eye if your vision is sharp enough. Another crucial point, condition is everything. A circulated 1989 double die penny might still be worth hundreds of thousands or even low millions depending on its state of preservation. But the real money is in uncirculated specimens. That's why it's so important to check old mint sets, unopened bank rolls from the late 1980s, and coin collections that have been stored away for decades. If someone put aside a roll of 1989 pennies back in the day and forgot about them, there could be an error coin in there worth $27 million just waiting to be discovered. The story of the 1989 double die penny also highlights an important truth about coin collecting: timing matters. When these error coins were first minted back in 1989, they were worth exactly 1 cent. They circulated like any other penny, getting dropped into cash registers, handed out as change, tossed into wishing wells, and lost between couch cushions. Nobody knew they were valuable because nobody knew to look for them. It wasn't until years later, when collectors started examining coins more carefully and cataloging errors, that the significance of this double die was recognized. And by then, most of the error coins had probably been spent, lost, or damaged beyond recognition. That's why the few surviving specimens in high grade are so incredibly valuable. They represent a tiny fraction of an already minuscule population. For those of you watching who are now inspired to start checking your pennies, here's some practical advice. First, focus on dates and mint marks that are known for valuable errors. The 1989 D is one of them, but there are others too. The 1955 double die, the 1972 double die, the 1969 S double die, and many more. Create a checklist and go through your coins systematically. Second, invest in proper magnification. A jeweler's loupe or a digital microscope can help you spot doubling and other errors that might be invisible to the naked eye. Third, educate yourself by studying images of known error coins so you know exactly what to look for. There are excellent reference books and online resources that show high-resolution photos of valuable varieties. Fourth, be patient and persistent. You might go through thousands of pennies before finding anything significant, but when you find that one rare error, it could change your life forever. And finally, if you think you found something valuable, get it authenticated. Don't just take someone's word for it. and don't sell it without knowing its true value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC can certify your coin's authenticity and condition, giving you and potential buyers confidence in its legitimacy. The 1989 Double Die penny is proof that miracles can happen in the world of coin collecting. It's proof that ordinary people can stumble upon extraordinary wealth, that pocket change can contain treasure, and that paying attention to the small details can lead to life-changing discoveries. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a second look, examine it closely, because you never know when you might be holding $27 million in the palm of your hand. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of today's incredible journey through two of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. We've talked about the 1998 D-Wide AM penny worth $13 million and the absolutely insane 1989 Double Die penny worth $27 million. If these stories have inspired you, if they've opened your eyes to the possibilities hidden in everyday pocket change, then I've done my job. Remember, these coins are out there, waiting to be found, and the next discovery could be yours. So start checking your change, dig through those old jars, visit estate sales, and keep your eyes open, because fortune favors the observant. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to OLD Glory Coins for more incredible content about rare and valuable coins, and drop a comment below telling me about your coin hunting experiences. Have you ever found anything valuable? I read every comment, and I love hearing your stories. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your next penny could be worth millions. Happy hunting, and until next time, keep searching for that hidden treasure.